All right, people. So I had ChatGPT do something kind of entertaining, for me at least. I've always wanted to see a Michael Saylor debate between him and Peter Schiff. And I think it would be interesting to see this debate unfold. Of course, Peter Schiff has tried so bloody hard to debate Michael Saylor, but Michael Saylor won't give Peter Schiff the time of day. Even the Binance CEO, whatever the hell his name is, I watched that debate, gave Peter Schiff the time of day. Now, obviously, Peter Schiff is a gold shill. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. Gold is a reasonable hedge against inflation, especially when the dollar obviously is not is obviously fiat. Now, Bitcoin is also fiat. That's another thing that Peter Schiff constantly talks about. And I feel this is a fun one to simulate. So I had ChatGPT simulate an actual debate. Obviously, this is all a simulation. We don't know how it would actually unfold between these two people, but I used ChatGPT to gather their personalities to the best of its ability and to create a simulated debate. And I'm going to narrate what it put out there. Full transparency, like I said, this was all generated by ChatGPT. The one thing I do like about AI is its ability to simulate, right? It could be a neutral arbiter, right? I like that. I like that. And being able to use ChatGPT in this instance is a lot more fun. So I'm a fan of it. As you all know, I love chat. I love AI. I'm not going to lie. I think AI is great. I don't think, I mean, we could be heading for dystopian times. Absolutely. I'm not going to like discount people's fear of AI. All right. I do believe that there is an argument for a fear of AI displacing human beings overall. Totally get it. But shall we begin? Give me a second, though. I got to put down a couple things here. Boop, boop, boop. Michael Saylor. We love Michael Saylor on this channel. He is so cute. He is so pretty. I want Michael Saylor to get down and dirty. Now, it's going to be an interesting simulation, obviously. I haven't read any of it yet, so I don't know what it looks like. It's going to be cool. We're turning on a couple things real quick. I'm getting turned on thinking about this. And Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor. So we're going to read this here in just a few moments, but I'm getting a couple things set up real quick. Peter Schiff. They only have like, that's lame. Is this Peter Schiff? Oh, they don't have his book. Okay, well, I'll have to make do with whatever is listed here. One moment. I wonder how many books they have by Michael Saylor listed in the products, because I do like putting these affiliates. Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor. Now, I'm very biased, obviously. I agree with Peter Schiff more than I agree with Michael Saylor. I think Michael Saylor is a pure play grifter at the end of the day, and I don't trust anything that Michael Saylor says. I do think that Michael Saylor is blatantly lying about Bitcoin. I don't think I don't think Bitcoin is a good thing. At the end of the day, I think Bitcoin is absolutely a bad thing. There is no reason to be pro Bitcoin because there's nothing backing it. It's not, you're not like putting any value into it. It's strings of data backed by nothing but the software that is open source. Jonathan Rich says, it's good to see you looking normal. Absolutely. Angry Man is saying you better put down the hamburgers, without a doubt. ATC Burberry says, I want to make kids with you. Please tell me how I make kids, please. Well, I don't know if you can get me pregnant or not. Sorry, bud. What up, Rift? Make sure you guys tap the like button, by the way. The more likes we have, the better. It does improve the show's standing on the internets, on the YouTubes. We appreciate it big time. All right, and back to the show. So we've improved the audio to some degree on this channel, and thank goodness for that. It was something that needed to be done for sure. But we are talking about the one, the only, the GOAT. You could say arguably the greatest Bitcoin shill of all time. Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor, all right? We all know we all love Michael Saylor, right? We're big Michael Saylor fans on this channel. And we're about to simulate one of the greatest debates that has actually never happened before. I mean, this debate has never actually occurred. Do we want it to occur? Yes. I absolutely would love to see Michael Saylor versus Peter Schiff. Like, that would be my wet dream. If we're going to be honest, that would be a wet dream for me. Michael Saylor. We love Michael Saylor on this channel. All right, so let's stop singing about our love of Michael Saylor, and let's get to the nitty gritty. Okay, so we had ChatGPT simulate what a debate between these two giants would actually be like, and so it's Bitcoin versus gold, the ultimate store of value, right? So the participants in this equation are the moderator, the fictional moderator, Michael Saylor, who is a Bitcoin maximalist, a tech CEO, and then we have Peter Schiff, the gold advocate, the economist. So the opening statements would be, the moderator would say, "Welcome everyone to tonight's debate, Bitcoin versus gold, the ultimate store of value. We're joined by Michael Saylor and Peter Schiff. Each will have a short opening statement. Michael, you go first." Now, this will be Michael Saylor. Thank you. I see Bitcoin as... okay, I'm gonna not do that voice. Thank you. I see Bitcoin... I'm gonna try to sound like Robert Downey Jr. when I talk like Michael Saylor. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I see Bitcoin as the first truly digital monetary asset, a form of property in cyberspace. It has a... I'm just going to read this normally. It has a fixed supply of 21 million. It's globally accessible and easily transferable, and resistant to debasement by governments. We'll just do this like Chris Hansen. In a world where central banks are printing currency at unprecedented rates, people need a high bandwidth saving technology that can't be inflated away. That's Bitcoin. I believe we're in the early stages of a multi-decade monetization of this asset. Then we have Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff says, "Well, thanks for having me. Let me start by saying this. Bitcoin is not money, and it's not a store value. It's a speculative token. Its value is entirely dependent on people believing it'll go higher and convincing the next buyer of the same thing. Gold, on the other hand, has been money for thousands of years. It has real-world use, intrinsic value in industry, and jewelry. It's not dependent on electricity, the internet, or hype. Gold has survived every monetary experiment in history. Bitcoin is the latest chapter in speculative mania." Yep, that's the intro, man. Hey, my singing is beautiful. Tap the like button. AI never sleeps? Absolutely. Why would AI ever sleep? AI is my guy. Oh, yeah. Let's go. If I was an old school 50-pound boombox, would you carry me on your shoulder wherever you walk? And when you turn my volume up in front of the cops, even though they tell you to stop. I hope you don't get mad at me when you have to purchase bad D batteries. All right, let's keep rolling, man. Michael Saylor. We love Michael Saylor. All right, so the next question is, what is money and a store of value? Moderator, let's start with definitions. What makes something money and a store of value? Michael? And Michael Saylor says, money has a few key properties. It needs to be scarce, durable, portable, divisible, verifiable, and resistant to seizure or debasement. Physical gold is scarce and durable, sure, but it's weak on portability, divisibility, and verifiability at scale. If I want to move $100 million in gold, that's a logistical and security nightmare. With Bitcoin, I can move that value across the planet in minutes, 24/7 without a bank. As for store value, the critical part is monetary policy. Gold supply is not truly fixed. If the price goes up enough, miners dig more out of the ground. Bitcoin supply is locked in code. However, that code, I'm not going to interject. Peter Schiff says, money evolved from commodities that had value before they were used as money. Gold was prized as jewelry, a status symbol. And for its physical properties, it became money because it was already valued. Bitcoin had no value before people started speculating on it. You can't do anything with it except try to sell it. That's not intrinsic value. And on scarcity, the world doesn't need another digital token. We already have thousands of cryptocurrencies. Even if Bitcoin has a $21 million cap, nothing stops people from creating alternatives and diluting the overall demand for digital assets. Gold doesn't have that problem. And here's Michael Saylor's response to that. The value of monetary asset is not about industrial use. The US dollar doesn't have industrial use. It's valuable because people coordinate around it as money. Bitcoin is valuable because the network is secured by massive energy and hardware investment and secured by millions of participants. The other coins argument is like saying because you can create more websites, Google loses value, or because you can clone code, you can clone network effects. You can't. Bitcoin is the monetary network, and others are experiments or securities. So what do you guys think about this simulated debate between Michael Saylor and Peter Schiff? As we all know, we pretend to be Michael Saylor fans on this channel, but we're in all actuality not. We think Michael Saylor is a grifter. We don't really believe in the crap he promotes. We think he sucks. Hey, can we not see a world where Bitcoin and gold can exist together? No. Carl, first off, I want to tell you this. Before we continue with this simulated debate between Peter Schiff and Michael Saylor that's powered by ChatGPT, I will say this. No. Bitcoin can exist. I don't care if Bitcoin exists. What I care about is that people are promoting it and making its market value higher than it needs to be. The appropriate market pricing for Bitcoin should be $0 because it's just a string of data at the end of the day. There's nothing really valuable about it. And when people say, but it's scarce, yeah, that's because it was coded that way. It wasn't coded that way by reality. It was coded that way by a group of people or a single individual. We still don't know if Satoshi was a group of people or a single individual. What I'm trying to say is that, truth be told, I obviously have a bias. I think the Bitcoin's absolute garbage. I don't think there's anything valuable about it. I think the world is better off without Bitcoin than it is with it. I think it's a waste of energy. I think it's a net negative to society, if we're going to be truthful with each other here. I'm not crying about Bitcoin. I'm trying to save your guys' financial lives. How is that crying about Bitcoin? Me telling you guys that Bitcoin sucks is not me crying about it. Somebody call me Diddy? They call me Witty. P. Diddy. They call me Witty. P. Diddy, No. Here we go. Let's keep rolling, man. Okay, so we're going to keep on with the simulated debate, part 3. Volatility and risk. The moderator. Peter, you often point to Bitcoin's volatility. Is that your main objection? Peter Schiff says it's one of them, yes. A store of value that can drop... hold on. Peter Schiff says it's one of them, yes. A store of value that can drop 70 to 80% multiple times in a few years is not a store of value. It's a casino chip. If you hold cash or gold, you might lose purchasing power slowly through inflation or price fluctuations, but you don't wake up and find 50% gone overnight because Elon Musk tweeted. With Bitcoin, the price is driven by sentiment, leverage, and speculation. That's not a safe place to park your life savings. And to that, Michael Saylor replies, volatility is the price of admission for an asset that's going from effectively zero to potentially becoming global money. In the early years of any disruptive technology, internet stocks, mobile phones, railroads, you see massive volatility. The key question isn't does it move up or down a lot, but what's the long-term trend? Bitcoin has gone from pennies to thousands of dollars per coin over a decade. If your time horizon is 10 minutes, yes, it's risky. If your time horizon is 10 years, the volatility is background noise in a long upward monetization curve. Now, Peter Schiff's counter to this would be, that's a convenient way to rebrand risk as a feature. Sure, in hindsight, we could point to the people who got in early and are ahead. That doesn't prove sustainability, though. The only new money coming in this from people who think they're going to get rich. Once that slows down or reverses, who is the natural buyer? Governments? Central banks? I don't see them putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets. With gold, you already have central banks accumulating it. There's a floor of real demand. With Bitcoin, the floor is unclear. Michael Saylor says, you underestimate how quickly institutions adapt when they see a superior asset. We already have corporations, funds, and some nation states exploring or adopting Bitcoin. And unlike gold, Bitcoin integrates natively with the digital financial system. Custody, settlement, and reporting can be automated as the regulatory environment matures. I expect more institutions to hold some Bitcoin as a non-correlated hard asset hedge. Huh, interesting. I still think Bitcoin is trash, but this is the thing. I've always wanted to see Michael Saylor debate Peter Schiff. Like, this has actually been like kind of like a wet dream of mine, because I think Michael Saylor would have gotten mopped. Like, he would have got wiped down on the floor by Michael Saylor. Oh my God. Michael Saylor would have been wiped by Peter Schiff. Jesus Christ. Michael Saylor's turning me into a Michael Saylor fan, and I don't even know it, man. Carl says he thinks Bitcoin will stabilize and become less volatile when all Bitcoin is mined. What do I think? For me personally, man, I still think Bitcoin's a grift. I don't think that there's anything naturally valuable about Bitcoin. I think it's really just something... I do think it is the ultimate grift. That's all I could really say about it. I don't believe in Bitcoin, really, is what I'm trying to get at. I think Bitcoin will inevitably fall. It deserves to fall. It's not like... I don't see anything good about it. I don't think it's a net positive or anything to society. I do think that it's probably one of the worst things that's been created in recent years overall. Rodolfo is asking, "Where's Dad? I have 100 Bitcoin." See, okay, so Melvina, you have 100 Bitcoin. That's fantastic, but at the end of the day, what isn't Bitcoin? Bitcoin's still a grift, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I do think a Bitcoin's still a grift, though. I don't think there's anything intrinsically valuable about Bitcoin. I just think it's, I do think it's hot garbage, though. I really do. I don't see anything, like, there's just nothing there. It's strings of data. Yeah, here's the thing, Rodolfo. I mean, Bitcoin isn't valuable. The reason the Bitcoin bros have trouble defining it is because I don't think the Bitcoin bros actually understand why Bitcoin sucks. You're not actually transferring anything. It's just, it's all Bitcoin really is at the end of the day is a public ledger of receipts. It's a public ledger of receipts. Now, I like the decentralized aspect of Bitcoin, sure, but the decentralized aspect alone doesn't give it value. That's why I hate when people say that Bitcoin's a store of value. How? Bitcoin on its own, besides its market, if you take away Bitcoin's market value and you take away gold's market value and look at them as pure products, gold obviously wins because gold is a real store of value. And I hate it. I don't understand why people think that Bitcoin's a store of value. How is a string of freaking data a store of value? I don't get it. It's not that I don't get Bitcoins. I don't understand people's attitudes towards this Ponzi scheme because it is one of the greatest Ponzi schemes ever invented by man. I'm impressed by it. Like, I am severely impressed by how much of a Ponzi scheme this really is. I mean, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. I'm very impressed by the Ponzi. And, you know, and I've seen a few Ponzi schemes. I've studied a few, and it just blows my mind how many susceptible people there are, how many people fall for these ridiculous schemes, man. I don't get it. I don't get it at all, man. I don't get it. They call me witty. P. Diddy. Where's P. Diddy at? Yeah. We all love witty P. Diddy. Let's keep reading through this debate. All right, so part 4. Inflation, debt, and central banks. The moderator says, let's talk macro. Governments are running large deficits. Central banks have expanded their balance sheets. Why is your chosen asset the better hedge? Michael Saylor says, we're living in a world where fiat currencies are structurally designed to lose value over time. Governments have incentives to inflate to manage debt, right? This isn't a conspiracy, it's math. If your savings are in cash or government bonds, you are volunteering to be diluted. Bitcoin is the antidote, a global apolitical asset with predictable issuance. It's like buying a piece of fixed monetary network instead of trusting politicians. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a string of data, Michael Saylor. I just got to say that. Anyway, Peter Schiff responds to this, but doesn't reply. He says, Peter Schiff says, I agree that fiat money is being debased and that governments are running unsustainable policies. Where I completely disagree is on the solution. Gold has already proven it can be an anchor for sound money. Historically, when fiat experiments blow up, we reset to some form of gold standard or at least gold-backed discipline. Governments and central banks are far more likely to remonetize gold than to adopt a digital token created in 2009 by an anonymous programmer. Gold is universally recognized, culturally embedded, and not dependent on internet infrastructure. Now, Michael Saylor's reply to this would be, simulated reply would be, the idea that we're going back to a 19th century gold standard in the 21st century high-frequency digital economy is fantasy. The settlement layer of the future must be digital, programmable, and borderless. Bitcoin is that. Gold is analog. Between two technically competent countries, competent countries, would you rather settle trade with physical bars on ships or with cryptographically secured transactions that settle in minutes worldwide? Peter Schiff says, you're ignoring the risk side of that digital dependency. In a crisis, power grid down, cyber attack, war, your Bitcoin is useless without electricity and a functioning network. Gold requires none of that. It's the ultimate off-grid asset. When things go really wrong, the analog asset wins. Gold wins. Michael Saylor says, if we're in a scenario where the global internet and electricity are permanently gone, we have bigger problems than portfolio composition. And even then, Bitcoin could be transacted via satellites, mesh networks, radio. Meanwhile, most people's gold is not in their hands. It's in a vault with an IOU from a custodian. If you want to talk about systemic risk, custody risk is gigantic in the current gold system. Here's the thing. I got to disagree with Michael Saylor on this real quick. So Michael Saylor, here's the thing. It's still just a string of data. Like, there's no underlying value behind it. And it's a waste of money, I think, to mine Bitcoin. I really do. I think it's a waste of electricity is what I should say. And yeah, it's a waste of money. I mean, if you want to keep your house warm, I guess you could, set up a Bitcoin mine. Sure. It'd be better than you could heat your house. Several computers during the wintertime. Yeah, it's crazy. Michael Saylor. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break from this. Obviously, we are we're not really a pro Michael Saylor channel, but we pretend to be. We pretend to love our Michael Saylor, and we think the world of him. Not really. We think Michael Saylor is a grifter on this channel for sure. We do believe that on this channel. I love Peter Schiff, though. I think Peter Schiff is excellent, amazing. Amazing. Schiff is amazing. No, we love Peter Schiff, though. Peter Schiff's amazing. No, I do think Michael Saylor is the ultimate grifter. I really do. I think that Michael Saylor is on the side of ridiculous. I just can't ethically get behind Bitcoin. I just think that Bitcoin is clickcoin at the end of the day. I think that Bitcoin is garbage. And I think we should consider Bitcoin to be a very flawed. I don't even want to consider it an asset. I think it's not even an asset. It's a digital liability. It really is. I mean, Bitcoin is a digital liability for sure. All right, we're going to go into part 5 of this simulated debate. What do you guys think about the simulated debate so far? I think it's kind of fun because we haven't had the opportunity to see these two debate each other, and they've known about each other. The thing is, it's funny, Peter Schiff has tried so hard to make a debate between those two happen. I think, and it shows you more about Michael Saylor than it does Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff has been absolutely 100% willing. He has tried so hard to be on the debate stage with Michael Saylor. And Peter Schiff, by the way, I consider a legit economist. So if Michael Saylor's thinking he's too good for Peter Schiff, I'm sorry. Peter Schiff is too good for Michael Saylor. But Peter Schiff wants to talk to Michael Saylor, right? So Michael Saylor, the ball's in your court, dude. Instead of me having to simulate this stupid ChatGPT debate, I want to see Michael Saylor debate Peter Schiff. Anyway, whatever. I'll be back. Yep, Bitcoin scammy as fuck, dude. I agree. I'm eating a toastum real quick. Now, for part 5 of the debate, we're going to talk about environmental and energy concerns with Bitcoin. I don't think this is brought up enough, actually. I don't. All right. So Bitcoin mining is often criticized for its energy consumption. Peter, do you see that as a major flaw? Peter Schiff says, absolutely. Bitcoin mining is an enormous waste of energy being used to solve pointless math problems just to maintain a ledger of speculative bets. That energy could be used to power homes, factories, or actual productive activity. Gold mining uses energy too, but at least you end up with a physical asset that has industrial and decorative usage. Bitcoin mining just burns electricity to keep the Ponzi going. Michael Saylor says that's a mischaracterization. Bitcoin converts stranded and underutilized energy into a digital security. It incentivizes the build out of renewables and remote energy sources that would otherwise be uneconomical. Miners are constantly seeking the cheapest energy, which tends to be excess or wasted energy. And from a macro perspective, the energy cost of securing an incorruptible global monetary network is tiny compared to what we spend running the legacy financial system, data centers, banks, ATMs, armored cars, etc. Peter Schiff's pushback on this one is he's saying this Bitcoin fixes energy narrative is marketing. Even if miners use some stranded energy, they also bid against consumers for power in many places. And you're assuming that the premise that Bitcoin is worth securing in the first place. If the underlying thing is unnecessary, then all the energy spent on it is waste by definition. Michael Saylor says, you could say the same about any new technology during its early phases. People once thought the internet was a fad for sending emails. Now it underpins global commerce. We spent massive energy on data centers, streaming, gaming, and nobody says shut down Netflix to save the planet. If Bitcoin becomes a settlement layer for trillions of dollars of value, its energy use will be justified as a critical part of the economic infrastructure. That's what Michael Saylor would say in this simulated debate. Just remember, this is all simulated. None of this is true. All of this is simulated by ChatGPT. ChatGPT, could you please? Make sure you guys tap the like button, though. The more likes we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. Yeah. So we're rolling, man. We're talking about our boy Michael Saylor. Sexy. We all love Michael Saylor on this channel, don't we? No, we don't. We pretend to. We think that Michael Saylor is a grifter. All right. Let me finish this Pop-Tart. Google accountant says, in real life, nobody's using Bitcoin, bro. Exactly. Bones 2110 says Bitcoin scammy as well. Exactly. Bitcoin is the ultimate Ponzi scheme. And I think that I'm hoping that more people are waking up to that. Because, one, in full transparency, I'll make a lot of money. Two, I've actually made a pretty good amount of money on the volatility of Bitcoin by betting against it. So I will always bet against Bitcoin. Seriously. I will always bet against Bitcoin. You know, I'm very mad at Michael Saylor because Michael Saylor has had every opportunity to debate Peter Schiff. And one of the reasons why I agree with Peter Schiff is because, one, Peter Schiff has been very open to debating Michael Saylor. And what pisses me off is Michael Saylor acts like he's too good to debate Peter Schiff. I'm sorry. No, you're not. You believe in a... Michael Saylor got lucky by betting on a Ponzi scheme to save his company, basically. Bitcoin, the Ponzi scheme, saved Michael Saylor's company. And for that, he thinks he's like Jesus or something, right? He got lucky on a Ponzi scheme. He got lucky. He went to the roulette table and he bet everything on red. And somehow it landed on red. Boom. That's what happened. Straight up. Google accountant says lots of kids selling grandma's mutual funds to buy Bitcoin. Let's see how the markets are doing real quick. So somebody's really done that in real life? That blows my mind. God, that's so dumb. You know, I mean, I consider Bitcoin the ultimate Ponzi scheme. I mean, cryptocurrencies in general, I just consider a pure play Ponzi scheme, and I can't help myself, man. It's funny, the more I learned about cryptocurrencies, the more doubtful I became of them. And give me 1 second, guys. I got to look at I always like to check the markets because I swing trade the VT and stuff like that, so I like to buy low, sell high, that sort of thing. There we go. Bitcoin, my click coin, dude. I also love betting against Bitcoin. It's kind of an addiction. Good morning, Mr. TJ. How you doing, bro? I decided to start getting up a little earlier and doing a morning show. I'm just doing because honestly, I like having more time in the day. Less distractions in the morning, too. Random 24308 says, please donate to me if you can. Well, you know, feel free to put your whatever you use on the chat. I won't block you, random. I won't block you. It's good to see you, Mr. TJ. Hell yeah. Yeah, nothing too crazy on the market side of things. It's down a little bit for the day. Yeah, I'll buy it at this price. Why not? Yeah, anytime the markets are down, like anytime there's a fluctuation, like some sort of volatility fluctuation, I'm all in, man. Not all in, you know what I mean? But like, I play with the volatility for sure. Damn, the market is down. Yeah, I'll buy a share of the VT. Why not? Yeah, VT is always a good one to buy on the dip. I prefer buying the Vanguard Total World Index on the dip. My man's always up early. Hell yeah, dude. It's the way to do it. I mean, I realized I was feeling pretty sluggish because I'd been getting up at like 9:30, and I was like, you know, I got to get up early again. So I decided that to be best to get up early, you know, get the day started, do some streaming, and really focus on the channel and stuff like that, and get things out of the way, you know. Get the important stuff done and keep rolling, man. Got to keep rolling, man. All right, so let's keep looking up this. So we're going to keep doing the simulated debate between. Just remember, everybody, this is a simulated debate. This is not real transcripts. This is a simulated debate that I had ChatGPT work up between Michael Saylor and Peter Schiff. Now, I'm a Peter Schiff fanboy. He loves gold. He loves silver. I think he's more of a gold shill than anything. What are my thoughts on Vanguard? I mean, I have a lot of Vanguard ETFs in my portfolio. I think they're a great fiduciary. I think for the most part, they're looking out for their investors, and they are the original index fund company. So I love index funds. So I love their index ETFs, basically. Their index exchange traded funds is what it is technically called. But yeah, I swing trade the VT, for God's sakes. I mean, I talk about the VT all the time. I think the Vanguard Total World Index, though, is one of the best indexes for sure. It is. Yeah, I can't. I speak volumes on why I think it is that way consistently, and I'm a huge fanboy. I can't help myself, man. When it comes to the Vanguard Total World Index, though, I shill the crap out of it. I'm shilling it, man. I'm shilling it. I love it. But let's keep going. We're going to keep simulating this debate. All right, so part 6 of the simulated debate. Adoption, time horizon, and exit strategies. Now, moderator says, let's talk practical. Suppose someone watching has $10,000 in savings. Michael, what do you tell them? Peter, what do you tell them? Michael Saylor starts off. Michael Saylor says, first, everyone's situation is different, and this isn't personal investment advice. But conceptually, I'd say consider what portion of your savings you want immune from inflation and political risk. For some, that might be 1 to 5% in Bitcoin as a long-term hold. Think 4, 8, 12 years, not 4 weeks. The key is don't leverage, don't trade. Treat it like buying a slice of digital Manhattan. You don't flip skyscrapers every weekend. Peter Schiff says, hold on. Peter Schiff says, I'd say if you want to protect your purchasing power, look at physical gold and silver, maybe through reputable funds or direct ownership. They've stood the test of time. If you want more upside with real businesses behind them, consider value stocks, especially in sectors that benefit from inflation, commodities, energy, real resources, that sort of thing. Putting money into Bitcoin is betting that the bubble hasn't popped yet and that regulators won't clamp down. That's an unnecessary risk. I think too many people get into Bitcoin and pray that it's never going to go down. That's what I think. I'm talking as Michael Garza now. I think too many people get into Bitcoin thinking that, and here's the thing. It could, by the way, people could be dumb enough to, the collective consciousness of the world could be dumb enough to pump up Bitcoin to $1 million per coin. That is always a possibility. I will never underestimate the stupidity of people in a bubble, right? I mean, for God's sakes, the tulip bubble was a real thing. For God's sakes, the NFT. Let's not forget about NFTs, by the way. Let's not forget. Moderator says, follow-up. What would make you change your mind, Michael? Is there anything that would make you say, I was wrong about Bitcoin, Peter? Anything that would make you embrace it? Michael Saylor says, if the Bitcoin network were somehow irreparably compromised, say a catastrophic bug that couldn't be fixed or a sustained 51% attack that destroyed trust in its immutability, that would change the thesis. Or if somebody invented a demonstrably superior form of digital monetary asset that clearly displaced Bitcoin's network effect, but I think both are extremely unlikely. Peter Schiff says, if Bitcoin stopped behaving like a speculative asset and started behaving like a genuine store of value, meaning low volatility, widespread usage as a unit of account, central banks holding it as reserves, that would force me to reassess. If we had a decade where prices stabilized and it wasn't treated like a lottery ticket, then maybe it's evolving into money. I don't expect that to happen, but that's what it would take. Part 7 of this simulated debate. Part 7 is quick cross-examination. All right. I need a moment. I decided to start getting up earlier just because I think it's the smartest thing I could do, and it's the responsible thing I could do, for sure. Sure ain't glamorous, but I keep things loose. I ain't your average punk rock loser. Yeah, I'm a savage. I'm really cool. Okay. Anyway, so quick cross-examination. Moderator says, let's do a lightning round. Short questions, short answers. Michael, you ask Peter first. Michael Saylor says, Peter, if we both agree fiat is debased, why would a 25-year-old today choose gold, which is hard to move, hard to verify, and underpenetrated among their generation, over a digital asset natively integrated with the tools and platforms they already use? Peter Schiff says, because the point of a hedge isn't convenience, it's reliability. Gold has thousands of years of history. Bitcoin has a little over a decade. A 25-year-old may like digital trends, but their future purchasing power is better protected by something that has already survived empires collapsing, not something that survived a few bull and bear cycles. Moderator, Peter, your question for Michael. Peter Schiff says, Michael, if Bitcoin's price stopped going up, let's say it flatlined or drifted sideways for 10 years, do you really think the same levels of enthusiasm and religious conviction among its holders would persist? Michael Saylor says, if the purchasing power were preserved while every fiat currency inflated away, that alone would justify Bitcoin. People don't hold a savings asset. Oh, hold on. Don't hold a savings asset because it goes to the moon every year. They hold it so their wealth doesn't melt. If Bitcoin simply becomes a stable, hard asset in a world of soft money, conviction would remain strong. I don't like that answer by Michael Saylor. That sucks. Yeah, honestly, in this simulated debate, I mean, I would say Peter Schiff would win, but then again, I'm pretty anti-Bitcoin, so I'm very biased. But I also I'm trying to like listen to these points, and I'm thinking about them. I just can't get over the fact that all you really own in Bitcoin is a string of data. And Michael Saylor's trying to keep this grift alive, folks. He's trying to keep this grift alive. And, I guess more power to him, But crazy. Okay, so we're going to get into the closing statements. Did you get a toilet seat to wear yet? So Snakebite, I've considered getting the toilet seat, by the way. I've considered doing the toilet seat method that you guys have been wanting me to do, just like the toilet seat guy. Like, I've actually given it some real thought. Like, I'm not going to lie, I'm not necessarily above it. I'm not above it. I'm not below it either. All right, so let's take a look here. I'm loose. I'm looser than a piece of low-hanging fruit. And I don't go to parties where it's fucked up. I go to the function just to fuck shit up. I ain't your average normal dude. I sure ain't glamorous, but I keep things loose. I ain't your average punk rock loser. Yeah, I'm a savage. I'm really cool. All right, let's keep reading the rest of my boy, Peter Schiff. I'm Mike Hansen, Dateline NBC. All right, so we're at the final part of this simulated debate. We're going to do the closing statements. We're almost out of time, says the moderator. Says we're almost out of time. Final thoughts, Peter, you first. Peter Schiff says, Bitcoin is a speculative phenomenon fueled by easy money, social media hype, and a generation that has forgotten monetary history. Every time in history that people have tried to replace real money with some clever abstract scheme, it has ended badly. Gold is not perfect, but it's real, tangible, and time-tested. When the dust settles from this era of speculation, I believe gold will still be standing. And many people who thought Bitcoin would make them rich will be left holding the bag. Michael Saylor says, we are living through a once-in-a-century monetary revolution. For the first time, humanity has a digital, provably scarce asset not controlled by any government or corporation. That's an extraordinary breakthrough. Bitcoin is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a get-rich-slowly, don't-get-poor technology. It offers individuals, companies, and even countries a way to escape constant monetary debasement. Gold had its era in a physical world. It made sense, but in a digital world, we need digital property. That's Bitcoin. Okay, Michael Saylor, that's stupid. Just because we live in a digital world, we're still in a physical world, by the way. We're not fully in the Matrix yet. I love how Michael Saylor basically says that owning Bitcoin is escaping from the Matrix. On the contrary, I think if you own a bunch of crypto, you're basically injecting yourself into the Matrix. Moderator says, thank you both. This has been a spirited and thoughtful discussion. To everyone watching, remember, none of this is individual financial advice. Do your own research, consider your risk tolerance, and think long term. Good night. Yeah, that was ugh. Anytime, even simulated Michael Saylor makes me cringe. You know, it still blows my mind that an otherwise intelligent dude, which I do consider Michael Saylor to be an intelligent guy, I still don't understand why he believes Bitcoin is even remotely valuable. You know. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not... It just blows my mind, man. I mean, I guess you could think of it from the standpoint of, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? So Michael Saylor is a software guy. MicroStrategy was a software company. Now it's a Bitcoin treasury, but it was a software company. So to any software developer, software engineer, or any CEO that's the head of a software company, anything that's software related seems like a game changer, right? Not all of it is, though. And I just wonder how competent Michael Saylor really is. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder. I don't think he is. I just think that I think he's a smart dude. I just think he's highly incompetent when it comes to understanding financial instruments. I don't understand how anybody could see Bitcoin as real money. It just isn't. I mean, it's just all there is to it. Bitcoin is clickcoin. As I always say, Bitcoin is not real money. It's not real money. I'm sorry. Like, what, you guys want me to lie to you? You guys want me to lie to you and tell you that Bitcoin's real? That Bitcoin's real money? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I can't do it ethically, man. Yeah, and I know a lot of you guys want me to be like the biggest Bitcoin shill of all. I'm not going to do that, man. I can't ethically be a Bitcoin guy. It's not in my nature. It's not how I want to be, man. I can't do Bitcoin. I think it's stupid. And I think you all know in your heart of hearts that Bitcoin is a grift in some capacity. You know what I mean? So Michael Saylor. Now, how many of you guys in the chat are Michael Saylor fanboys? Say aye. How many people have I offended today by dissing your Lord and Savior, Michael Saylor? Have I made a lot of you angry? Are you guys mad that I dissed your king, Michael Saylor? Is Michael Saylor your guys' king, by the way? Like, how many of you Bitcoin boys out there? Is Michael Saylor your prince, your king? Am I Michael Saylor's queen? What are we doing here? What are you doing here? Is Michael Saylor a legend? Is he the GOAT? That is the question. Is Michael Saylor the greatest of all time? Sure. No, he's not. We all know that Michael Saylor is a grifter at the end of the day. We know that Bitcoin is a scam. It is a scam, by the way. And I wish more people would actually admit that. And I'm being truthful with you guys. I really do firmly believe that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. And I believe that real assets like stocks, real estate, and gold are perfect. I mean, well, I wouldn't say perfect, but they're way better than saying that Bitcoin is some sort of thing it's not. I think what pisses me off is the disingenuous arguments that people always say that Bitcoin, people saying, I don't know, people are giving too many qualities to Bitcoin that it doesn't deserve, is really what I'm trying to say. People are giving qualities to Bitcoin that it doesn't deserve. And I think what I'm saying is fair. I really mean that. I think what I'm saying is fair. That Bitcoin gets too much credit for things it doesn't deserve. So yeah, I can't do Bitcoin at the end of the day. I just think it's too stupid. I don't see it as a real asset at all. Did I get a toilet seat to wear yet? Not yet, buddy. Not yet. I'm hurting my reputation. If I don't get that toilet seat, man, I'm hurting my reputation. Without a doubt. Do you guys think I should be the next toilet seat guy? Is that what we're banking on? Is that what the Michael Garza show needs to become, is the toilet seat guy? I'm assuming that's what you guys are trying to get at. Give me a second, you guys. I got to send a few emails real quick. I figure I'll stay live while I'm sending these basic emails I got to send out. And I don't know how, and I don't know where we are. We are, and I don't know how, and I don't know where we are. We are. And I don't know how, and I don't know where we are. We are. But yeah, I gotta send some emails real quick. I gotta be so sexy and so cute. I am so sexy. I don't know how I'm so cute. So cute. I don't know why I'm so sexy, you guys. I try not to be. I'm just so hot and so beautiful. Okay, so I sent out my first email. Like I said, I have some. I figured, I was like, why not just stay live streaming while I send the emails I got to send out? So, always sending out emails, always being the man. I'm like Andrew Tate, bro. Yeah, never mind. Give me just a few seconds, you guys. I'm trying to get a few things squared away here. Mike Jaquan Seanquavius Garza. Okay. I love it. Oh, OMG. Oh. Before they turn off all the lights, I won't read you your wrongs or your rights. Time is gone. Man, I gotta send so many emails right now. I'm the man, dude. I'm the man, I get it. Everybody's jealous. Everybody's like, oh, dude, this guy's like cooler than Michael Saylor, bro. I am cooler than Michael Saylor, dude. Michael Saylor wishes he was me. Okay, that's a lie. Michael Saylor's been grifting. He makes a lot of money grifting. I guess you could say I'm no different than Michael Saylor. That's the sad irony, man. Michael Saylor and I were basically like twinsies. Michael Saylor. I mean, you guys could tell that I'm his biological stepson at this point, right? I think it's pretty obvious. To anybody with eyes, you could tell that Michael Saylor is my biological stepdad. We all know this. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Is Michael Saylor the man? Sure. Is Michael Saylor sexy? Oh, yeah. We love Michael Saylor. We worship Michael Saylor on this channel. We think he's hot. Even though we think he's wrong, we think he's hot. Do we get a little bricked? Sure. Granted. But that's the price you pay when you're attracted to Michael Saylor. You get bricked. You get boned up because you love Michael Saylor so much. Bitcoin, my clickcoin. We all know. At the end of the day, we all know Michael Saylor loves Bitcoin. But why? Why does Michael Saylor love Bitcoin so much? I think we know why. Why do grifters grift? Money! Easy money! E.T. says, morning wood for Garza. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. When I think about Michael Saylor, dude, I'm like, oh. When I think about you, I touch myself. I don't want any other grifter. I want Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor. Give me more Michael Saylor. I love Michael Saylor. I think about Michael Saylor all day. I don't care if it makes me gay. I think about Michael Saylor all day, all night. All day, all night. And I'm wearing a juicy man thong. What do I wear? What do I wear? My juicy man thong. Is it so wrong to wear a juicy man thong? I think about Michael Saylor all day, all night. I think about Michael Saylor, he makes me feel so tight. I think about Michael Saylor all day, all night. Michael Saylor is my boy, aight? Everybody jealous. Everybody, yo. Everybody jealous cause you all acting like hoes. Everybody jealous. Everybody knows. Everybody jealous of my rap skills. Everybody get back. Everybody get back now. Everybody get back. Get back now. Cause everybody's jealous of my crazy rap skills. Everybody wishes they could be like me. Everybody wishes they could have a big D like me. I'm a bathmate king. I'm a bathmate king. Everybody knows that I am the bathmate king. Okay. Focus, 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 focus. Gotta keep my focus. How much do you guys like Michael Saylor, though? Do you guys think we should try to get Michael Saylor on the channel? I figure if he won't debate Peter Schiff, he probably wouldn't want to debate me. Because I am not a Bitcoin shill. I am very anti-Bitcoin overall. But I think it'd be fun to have Michael Saylor on the channel, though. For sure. We all love Michael Saylor. Oh. I'm feeling like a champ right now, man. We got 10 likes so quickly. I love it, man. I love it. We got all of our Michael Saylor fanboys up in here. Make sure you guys tap that like button, though. The more likes we get, the better. It does help the channel grow on the YouTube algorithm a little bit. But we also, not just that, we do like to be an organic channel. We like to talk about organic topics. And I like to hear what the chat has to say. Sometimes I'll dismiss some of the chat and be like, yeah, you guys know. I'm good. But yeah, I'm sending a little bit of emails at the moment. Having a good time, chilling out. All right, I got one more email I got to send you guys, and then we can get back to the topic at hand. We could talk a little bit more about Michael Saylor, dude, our home dog, the GOAT. Whoa, dude, why you call me a loser, brony? What the hell, dude? Why you call me a loser? What did I do to you? Do we got beef, brony? Show me the beef. I'll show you the queef. Do we's have beefs? I think I just made an internet enemy. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that crap. You're getting closer to pushing me off of life's little ledge. 'Cause I'm a loser. Sooner or later, you know I'll be there. You're getting closer. Okay, so what they don't realize is that I'm just basically the new age Chris Hansen. Little does he know that I am the GOAT. So Andrew Stev is asking what's on the agenda today. So we did a simulated debate between Michael Saylor and Peter Schiff. Andrew, make sure you tap that like button, though. It does help the channel grow. But yeah, the agenda was we just did a simulated debate for about roughly an hour almost between simulated Peter Schiff and simulated Michael Saylor. We love Michael Saylor, by the way. Even though we think he's a grifter, we still love our Michael Saylor. I still get certain feelings in my loins. No. I have certain feelings that crop up when I think of Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor, the GOAT. The one, the only Michael Saylor. I don't know why I love Michael Saylor so much. I think about him often. You know, and I don't know why we get so sprung for Michael Saylor. Try not to. Does anybody remember when fast food used to be affordable? Like, not gonna lie, I don't do fast food anymore. I don't. I cook at home, man. I think that's what's gonna kill the fast food industry is the fact that more people are waking up to the fact that it's just better to meal prep. Oh yeah. Even if groceries get a little bit higher, if you just stop eating out at restaurants, you'll be fine. You know, the problem with millennials and Gen Z, I'll say this, is we have restaurant syndrome. And we're too stupid to realize that restaurants are killing our budget. I think it's a big deal. I'm feeling it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. What they don't realize, and I am the real Chris Hansen. I'm the fake Chris Hansen. We're kicking ass, though, today, man. We're kicking butt. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think a simulated debate between Michael Saylor and our boy Peter Schiff was a pretty cool idea? It was interesting. I'll admit, it was kind of fun to see the 2 points of view. You know, I'm going to do a quick review of it. I think obviously Peter Schiff would win. I think that in a real debate, I really do believe that Peter Schiff would wipe the floor with Michael Saylor. I don't think Michael Saylor would actually stand a chance in any capacity. I just don't think that Michael Saylor is a good debater. Not only that, I think that when you're trying to argue on behalf of Bitcoin, you fall short. I think Michael Saylor is slow. I wouldn't say slowly. My theory is that that Michael Saylor is already aware that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. He knows it is. He knows at some level it's a digital MLM scheme, and he should be aware of that. I hope. Then again, who knows what Michael Saylor's thinking, you know. He does seem like an intelligent dude, but he definitely has grifter vibes, that's for sure. Michael Saylor. Do you guys love Michael Saylor as much as this channel pretends to? Gimme more, gimme more, gimme more. Give me more, give me more. Michael Saylor. Obviously, we're a pretty anti-Bitcoin channel for the most part. We spend more time making fun of Bitcoin than actually thinking it's a good thing. That's what we firmly believe on this channel. We do believe that Bitcoin is the ultimate grift. It is the ultimate Ponzi scheme. And we bet against it. I'm very transparent in the fact that I bet against Bitcoin 24/7. I don't see any sort of appeal to Bitcoin as a whole. I think that Bitcoin is phony baloney currency. It's phony baloney dildo money. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I will probably always be against Bitcoin. I can't see any reason to be for it because it just doesn't have any real value. What it all boils down to, man, is Bitcoin really is the definition of phony fiat. It is fiat. Bitcoin and the dollar are both fiat. They both suck. And the sooner we can admit that, the better. And if we can't admit that, then, well, it's on us as a society. And we got to choose, what do we want out of this? So Evelyn is asking, what would you do if you saw Stuart Little walk by you on the street? Well, I'd probably think I was on drugs. That would be my assumption. All right, but yeah, I think, 'tis the season for giving, by the way. So make sure that you guys gift a Michael Garza membership to random strangers. You can do that. Snakebite007 says, Papa, I'm a real boy. No, you're not, son. No, you're not. I'm sorry, Snakebite007. You just aren't, man. You just aren't. I'm going to do some crunchies real quick, off camera. I got to get my crunchies in for the day. I didn't do them, so I got to get that underway. All right. Okay. Okay, I was doing some sit-ups, man. Come on, man. There ain't no gooning going on, man. Open eyes, closed eyes. Hell yeah. We're back. Whew. Man, I had to do a few crunchies. Oh, nothing much. I was checking out my smartphone real quick. Oh, I may have to go for a walk. I do actually need to get some eggs. Investing is amazing. Snakebite says they decided you're a piggy. I'm a piggy. Oh my god, I'm basically the toilet seat guy. I have become the toilet seat guy, is what you guys are saying, right? Is that it? Is this... How did it come to this? How did it ever come to this? Just the other day somebody said to me, hey, maybe you're just slightly schizophrenic and a little out of reach, my friend. I said, yes, that's probably true, but jokes aside, I can't explain. It's just my way of compartmentalizing. Living on this planet now. Have you turned on your TV? Have you seen reality? Have you found the program that you spent your whole life looking for? Alright, here we go. But what is up, my brony brothers? My brony baloney dildos. Hello. It is I, your host, Mikey G. Probably going to end the stream in just a few moments, though. What they don't know is that I have the chat logs right here. What makes me happy? I'd probably say doing this show actually has been a form of happiness so far. You know, I mean, one big thing that makes me, I mean, I don't really chase happiness. I chase purpose. You know, happiness is fleeting. You can't be happy all the time. I just don't really believe in that. But, I mean, I'd love to try to be a little happier, for sure. I am happy for the most part. I think you gotta be grateful, as cheesy as that sounds. You gotta be grateful first, then the happiness comes second. I think you can be happy and grateful at the same time. Absolutely. I think you need to somehow find a way. I need to find that way. It's a bit of a struggle sometimes, but no, I've definitely realized though I'm a pretty lucky dude, and it's a hell of a time to be alive, you know. And how did it come to this? Sam Bram says, "Hey Garza, I can't sleep. My wedding is in a month. I think I'm making a huge." Well, look, I'm not against marriage or anything like that. I don't know if marriage is right for everybody. I think psychologically speaking, I think you could still be in a monogamous relationship where it's just you and that person, you know. I guess marriage solidifies it to some degree. I don't know. I have a problem with marriage only because I had seen the toxicity of two people that were married, my mom and my dad, and it kind of scarred me from wanting to get married. Like, I don't mind being in a long-term relationship, but I do believe, psychologically speaking, that marriage does change a few things. Not for the better, by the way. I don't always think it's for the better. It also depends on the type of people who are getting married, you know. What type of people are they naturally, you know. But yeah, it really does depend on the type of person. Okay, so how long have you two been together, Sam? Sam, just take a deep breath. How long have you two been together? Are you rushing into this? Or have you been together for years or a few months? I need to know. I need a timeline here. Because sometimes a timeline can give us a better idea. And also, do you actually want to be with this person? That's a huge question. 4 months. Now, why are you guys getting married after 4 months? Whose idea was it? Was it your idea? Was it her idea? Was it both of your ideas? Did you both come to this consensus that it was a good idea? I think 4 months is too quick. Sam says, "Oh, hold on. So she's your brother's wife's sister." Oh, okay. So sister. Well, I mean, at least you're not related by blood. So sister-in-law, huh? So your brother has a wife, and his wife has a sister, and that sister wants to be with you. Okay, well, I mean, it's not like you guys are related by blood. It's just sister-in-law. I mean, it was your idea, and she agreed right away. Is she, gaga for you? Does she really love you? Do you two sincerely love each other? Do you have the same feelings for her? Well, if you both have the same feelings for each other, then what's the problem? Do you have, financial stress that you're dealing with? What stresses are you dealing with here? Because a lot of relationships fail because of stress. At least that's what I've noticed. Sam says, okay, so your brother recommended her for you. Okay, but did you agree with the recommendation? You don't have to agree to everything, you know. Do you actually like her? I don't care if your brother recommended her or not. Do you actually like this person? Do you actually love this person? That matters. I'm not married, but I've been with the same person for 5 years, so I've been with my girlfriend for over 5 years, man. It's good. I don't know. I mean, why? If you like her, is it just because your brother recommended her to you? If that's the only drawback and you actually like this girl, then who cares if your brother... Not crazy in love, though? Well, I mean, are you attracted to her? Like, I mean, what it boils down to is, I mean, are you actually attracted to her? It's just your fear of... you know, you need to listen to Snow Patrol's What If This Is All the Love You Ever Get? It's a kind of a song that I feel like encapsulates the insecurities of loneliness. Feeling like you might be lonely for the rest of your life. It's an interesting... So there's a Snow Patrol song. Like I said, it's by Snow Patrol. It's What If This Is All the Love You Ever Get? What if this is all the love you ever get? Okay, so if your financial situation's horrible, is she understanding of that? Does she understand that your situation's horrible and you're trying to fix it? Yeah, I mean, it depends on... Here's the thing, Sam. I can't make the judgment for you. I'm going to tell you that right now. Oh, I'm not... I'm not going to bed, man. It's morning time for me right now. Yeah, this is completely the morning time for me. I've been going to bed earlier, actually. So I've been trying to go to bed at 9 or 10. Try to go to bed at more reasonable times is what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so as long as she's coming from a place of understanding, I don't see what the problem is. So, okay, if you're not really that attracted to her, like... Is she attracted to you? Is she gaga for you? Like, do you actually like her personality, too? Do you like who she is as a person? I mean, look, there's so many things that go into this stuff. And I will say, I don't want you to make a decision based on what I think. I want you to think it through yourself. Yeah, I get that. I mean, marriage is a big commitment, that's for sure. And you know, well, I mean, you can make, I think here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this honestly. I think it was a bad idea for you to propose marriage 4 months in. I'm going to be very truthful with you. I think that's a dumb move. I mean, unless you really are gaga for her and you really I think it was a dumb move. But we all make mistakes. Look, we all make mistakes, right? But if you feel like you can be married to this person and she feels like she could be married to you, that's okay too. But if you got cold feet, man, And besides, you know, I mean, look, if she's not that bad, I don't know what the problem would be, man. Look, it's all right, man. You're not... You guys seem to like each other, but, like... I'm not saying that you shouldn't get married. I think if you've already committed to this, you're already committed to it. It sounds like you're nervous. You talked about leaving single life behind. Okay. Well, what do you think the benefits would be? So we already know what the drawbacks are. You're letting your fear kind of dictate you at the moment. What if we kicked fear to the curb for a second? What if you were to list down all the best things about this? And by the way, only you know what the best parts of this would be, right? If you feel like you have more positives written down than negatives, and I really do insist that you take the time to find the positives in this too. The positives, the negatives, figure out if the negatives are worth it, and go from there. Here's the thing, though. Well, Sam, if it makes you feel better, I mean, look, even if he chose her for you, you did have the option to say no, right? It's not like your brother dictates your love life. Did you... But when he chose her for you, were you like, okay, she's pretty cool? Yeah, see, there are positives to this. Yes, and that feeling of feeling trapped can be very overwhelming. Yes. How much... Okay, so you know what? I feel like this might actually be more of a money issue than anything. Because how much anxiety do you have with your debt? Would you say that your debt makes you anxious? Because I'm curious about this. Would you say your debt makes you anxious? Do you get like a spike of anxiety when you think about how much debt you have? Because I'll bet you that has something to do with it too. It's a bit of a crazy bet on my end, but I'm willing to take the chance on that bet. And I don't know how, don't know where we are. I'm going to do a test real quick. Testing. Here we go. So here's the thing, man. Debt. I've seen people kind of lose their crap over how much debt they have. Like, I've actually seen that burn a hole in actual relationships with people. Like, so here's the thing. I don't know necessarily if you feel trapped by the marriage side of this. I've noticed that a lot of marriages fall apart because of financial stress. And yes, marriage can probably feel like a trap to some people psychologically. Absolutely. Without a doubt. But it depends on the kind of person you are at the end of the day. But I could be absolutely wrong, too. Just saying. Well, here's the thing. You can still work on tackling all your debt issues while you're married. It's not like you can't do it. Because here's the thing, man. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of societal pressures. I get that. But Sam, I think you're on the right path. And yeah, should you stress over some of this? Maybe. I don't know. I really don't at the end of the day know if you should stress on some of this, but I mean, it is good that you at least are acknowledging. Yeah, it's good to take it. Look at. I understand that a lot of people do feel trapped with the whole marriage thing, but a lot of it has to do. Yes, is marriage stressful? Sure. Absolutely, marriage could. I've never been married, but I've seen how stressed people get when they're married, right? So it all depends at the end of the day. So hopefully the stresses aren't too bad, man. I do hope that helps. I mean that. I really do. I really hope that information helps, buddy. Because obviously I've never been married before, so I don't know what that life is like per se, but I can imagine it's a little frightening, especially if you already have debt and stuff, and that could actually put a bit of a hamper on it for sure. I'll tell you, I'm still trying to get some of my finances squared away. But I'm trying to choose to be happy. Hey, no problem, Sam. I'm just glad I could help you out in some way, brother. Some way, somehow, man. You seem like a pretty good dude, and yeah, I just want to, but none of it's financial advice, just some. And look, maybe you should talk to your brother about it. I mean, your brother's married. Why don't you? I know that you and your brother are different than each other, but maybe if you talked to your brother who is actually married, I think talking to me about marriage, I've only seen marriage. I've never actually been married. So I think you should probably talk to a married person, see what they think. So definitely talk to your brother, see how he handles marriage and see what the drawbacks could be. And, everybody's different, obviously, but maybe you could get some insight as to what marriage is actually like by talking to your brother, because he is married. So, you know what I mean? It's not necessarily the worst thing you could do. Hope that helps, man. I hope that helps. Okay, he recommends it. Okay. Yeah, and like I said, it is an individual thing. Some individuals are made for marriage, and I think some are not, Some, it's not everything is everybody's cup of tea, And honestly, I've got pretty negative sentiments on marriage. So I'm not necessarily the best person to ask. I mean, it is one perspective, but you should draw from your own perspective and somebody else's as well. Talk to actual married people. See what marriage is like. Go on forums. Honestly, you know what? I think if you go on Reddit, which I don't think is a good idea, but you could go on marriage subreddits and try to understand the nature of marriage and see what people have to deal with. Maybe you can get a bit of a preview from seeing what people have to deal with when it comes to marriage stuff. I'm sure there's a married life group or something like that. So that way you at least get some sort of better understanding of what to expect. But I do hope that helps, man. Yeah. No. I wish I could give you better insights, but that's all the insight I got, man. It's about the best I got, brother. But anyway, I think I'm going to end this stream here in just a second. I got to reset my router anyway. I noticed that there's been some dropped frames. I'm sure it's because of my internet connection at the moment, so we'll see. I'll probably fix that a little bit later. I'll be doing another stream probably a little bit later, actually. All right. Make sure you guys tap the like button. The more likes we get on these streams, the better. It does help the channel grow in a lot of ways, so I greatly appreciate it, y'all. Make sure you guys have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you guys on the next episode, baby. Yeah, we're talking a little philosophy right now. Hell yeah. Gotta talk that philosophy, brah.